What's up, everybody? I said in a previous video that I don't want to go political, but I kind of can't help it. I apologize in advance. This is probably going to offend some people, but I genuinely, um, the lighting's pretty good today coming through the window. I genuinely want to try to help put some things in perspective, but I'm also going to have some fun with this. So, as you can see, this is a best meltdowns of all time thing, and we're going to react a little bit to it. I hate reaction videos, but I genuinely want to talk about some of this quickly.
No! No! Why? 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 Do you really hate me that bad?
So, um, two things, two things. For people on the left, if you're on the left, if you were or if you're not on the left and you didn't like Trump and voted for Kamala Harris, that's fine. Um, don't think for a minute that people on the right don't feel anxiety whenever elections don't go their way. They do. I personally have never seen someone on like the conservative or libertarian side of politics in America yell at their cameras um, incoherently. Also, nobody hates her. Like I know that there's this thing in America and probably the world where a lot of people think that if you don't vote for a black person or a black woman that you're somehow racist and you hate black people, but that's simply not the case. There are I heard Ben Shapiro say one time that in for the most part, people on different sides of politics usually want the same thing. They just have different ideas about how they go about getting it, and that's most of the time what's happening. So nobody hates this person.
I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that
She could have been. I've said this a few times, and I've actually asked some people this. I've never heard a really good answer. Maybe there's a better explanation out there, but um, this is, I think her name is Sunny Hostin, and she really needs to be asking her own party why they didn't have a black woman president because they could have made it happen. And again, I said it once before in a video, or I asked the question, but like I don't understand why Joe Biden or his handlers or however that situation's working out. I don't understand why he did not do the magnanimous thing and step down and like work through the political process of having her become the next president. Now maybe that process would have taken longer than I think it would have, and it wouldn't have mattered or something like that. But I feel like they could have made her president at least temporarily, and I think that at that point she could have had an easier time of winning. But here's the thing: Kamala Harris was an extremely unlikable candidate, and every time she opened her mouth, it was a Donald Trump advertisement. And people on the left don't understand that, but whenever you repeatedly go up in front of a camera and talk, and you're like if you're running for an office, especially president of the United States, if you don't ever actually say anything, if you don't ever present any actual policies, there are some people aren't going to care, or some people are just going to trust that you have some ideas for policies, and that's okay. That's not necessarily a bad thing because Republicans oftentimes will not say anything either. But you have to you have to say some stuff that means something at some point, or else people are going to think you don't really have any good ideas and you're not going to make a good president and they're not going to vote for you. So again, this isn't a race thing, and this isn't like the don't be mad at Trump that Kamala is not president. Be mad at your own party because they could have made it happen. That's the point I'm trying to make.
it had nothing to do with policy. I
No,
think
it
this
did.
was a referendum of cultural resentment in
Nope.
this country.
100% no. Nobody like there are very few people who resent anybody of color. Like I racism is still a thing, but there are very few people who really care about that kind of stuff. And you can just, well, anyway, I don't want to get into that. Okay.
I'm done. I'm
See ya.
done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this.
There's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men.
So these people, all three of these people, and many other people in the news media, they will always assume that if you don't vote for a woman, that it's because you hate women. If you don't vote for a black person, it's because you're racist, and that's not true. Um, Again, the Democrats could have had a black woman as president. They just really don't care. They don't want it. The Democrats didn't want Kamala Harris. I know some Democrats did, but there are a lot of Democrats who didn't want Kamala Harris to be the president either, and they could have made it happen. But like the answer isn't like automatically, well, you didn't vote for Kamala Harris, so you must be a misogynist. That's just not the way that works. There are like valid reasons to vote for someone and not to vote for somebody. For instance, I have to assume that there are a lot of people who didn't vote for Donald Trump, and it's not because they hate men. I just assume they had reasons to not vote for him. But the media,
Hispanic men.
the media
Right,
always
it's
wants to
misogyny
like act
from
like
black
it's
men.
something
Things we've all been
inherently wrong
talking
with the
about.
people.
You
It
do
can't
not
be
want
the
a woman
policy
leading
positions.
them.
Crazy thing to me is that if this guy does end up winning again, all of the people who voted for him will be like happy and they'll just be celebrating. And everyone else, everyone who feels threatened by him is scared. Like we're scared for our lives, we're scared for our friends. Like
You have no reason to be scared for your lives. The stuff that Whoopi Goldberg said about Donald Trump separating mixed race marriages and shipping people off to other countries and making them making white people marry white people, like that's quite literally an insane thing to say. She's completely off her rocker, and like the fact that people are believing that is mind blowing to me. Nobody's lives are in danger. I don't understand where this is coming from. But the point I want to make here, and this is hopefully helpful to people, is just remember that people on the right are anxious about elections too. And people like conservatives and libertarians, whenever liberals win, we do get anxious about stuff. Like I'm a conservative libertarian. We do get anxious about stuff because we are like almost always in my adult life, if left-leaning people take control of a political arena, almost every time I wind up paying more for stuff. Inflation tends to go up. Sometimes there's unemployment, sometimes there's not. I know we argue about that numbers, and everybody likes to make them up and act like their party is better. But there's a lot of anxiety that goes into that because I'm trying to just do the best I can for my family and make good financial decisions. And it's more difficult whenever I feel it's more difficult whenever left-leaning people are in office. So there is a lot of anxiety about it. But like I don't go. Nobody on the right, again, nobody I've ever seen on the right or like conservatives or libertarians ever like freaks out. And there's a joke about how like this lady is kind of freaking out and acting like she's gonna die, or that she's like scared for her life and her friends' lives and stuff like that. There's this joke that conservatives and libertarians are just as scared as she is whenever the left wins, but they have jobs to go to the next morning, so they have to go to bed. They can't stay up all night making TikToks.
you have pro-life women dying because their doctors
no.
are scared to treat
Like,
them.
I would like to see the data
For
on that.
man, if you voted for anybody other than Kamala and you live in one of the states that it was, close, or if you didn't vote.
You know what she's about to say? It's not close in my state. So she's not talking to me, I guess. But like, and I'm sorry for laughing. Like, I don't mean to offend anybody. I really like to. I don't like making people mad. I don't want to make anybody feel bad or feel embarrassed. But like, sometimes we just embarrass ourselves, right? And this is embarrassing. To like be that angry about your fellow humans just because they disagreed with you is insane to me. Like, I get angry with people, and I do get angry whenever people disagree with me, but I'm not gonna like. There once upon a time I would have said what she's about to say to somebody if I disagreed hard enough, but it's wrong. It's wrong and it's foolish.
I swear to God, if you idiots elect that demented man, I will burn this whole place to the ground.
Go for it. Go for it. See, she just swore. Like, is she gonna do it? And here's the thing: like, there's a bunch of people that are saying they're gonna leave. They said they're gonna leave last time, and they didn't leave. They're still here. Um, like, I think it's dumb to say you're gonna leave or you're gonna like perform violence if you don't get your way. Like, this is an adult temper tantrum. But I will put strychnine in the guacamole.
They can always say,
Here we go.
She should have done this, she should have done this, she did what she did. She was everywhere, she talked to everybody, and people didn't come out. I don't know why, and it doesn't even matter.
What did she talk about? What did she laughed, she said thank you a bunch, she cackled, and she tried to distance herself from Biden's policies without putting out any of her own policies, and then every once in a while she would steal one of Donald Trump's policies. That's pretty much all she did. So she talked a lot, but she didn't say anything.
You voted against me. You voted
No.
against my right to live.
Who's killing this guy? Who's threatening this guy's life?
You voted against all the women.
He's Batman,
and their
right?
rights.
Nobody voted against the women.
I hope you enjoy your cheap
Gas.
gas.
I will. If it goes, I hope it goes down. I'll enjoy. No, things aren't going to go down because we don't really want deflation. So prices are where they are, and they're going to continue going up. I hope they go up at a slower rate, and I hope my income can finally catch back up to where it was before, because I'd like to be able to provide the things for my family that my family needs and some things that they want. To be fair, I'm a lucky guy, and I've been blessed. But we want to work hard and be able to provide more for our families. And honestly, I'd like to be able to give more away. I'd like to be even more charitable and help my church more and help the world around me more. I think I can do a better job of that than the government. So I'd like to keep more of my money, please. So yeah, I will enjoy my gas. Nobody's threatening this guy's life at all. It's absurd to think that somebody's threatening his life. And so the question I was going to ask is, like, people talk about women's lives, but what about little girls' lives? Do we care about little girls' lives? And what if they're preborn? Females. I don't know. Just something to think about. I care about them.
Well, Donald Trump is now our 47th president.
This guy
of the United
seems pretty
States
calm.
Of America.
I like
This
that.
election was not even close.
Correct.
Which I find odd, considering Kamala Harris's rallies.
Yeah, that's an echo chamber thing. Like, this dude wasn't paying attention. He's calm, and I like that. And it's a true statement. It wasn't a close election. Donald Trump won the popular vote, which is pretty crazy. Like, that's huge. That's really huge for those that don't know. Republicans don't usually win popular votes. They're usually strategic and get more electoral votes, and that's how they get elected when they do get elected. But he won the popular vote, and he won states he wasn't supposed to win. That's crazy. Like, that should tell the left something about their strategy and the things that they are saying and the things that they are doing. America, and I hope this trend keeps up in America, because I think America is getting a little bit wiser. A little bit. We're getting dumber in other areas, but...
However, how can that compete when you have Elon Musk paying $1 million per
That's
day?
very little to do. I've not looked into that. I've heard people say that, and I don't really know, but this is a policy thing. This is a policy thing.
I hate to be the person that gets on here and cries,
Nah, you're not alone. Don't worry about it.
but this could break me and my parents apart because
Why?
they just don't understand what they voted
No,
for.
no,
and,
they
like,
really
what
do.
it means and
They really
the
do.
bigotry and hatred that they stand by.
Nobody has yet. I've watched a lot of videos on this over the past 8 years of my life, maybe even more. Probably more. Nobody has ever come up with a legitimate thing that proves that Donald Trump is a racist or a bigot. Like, I think he's somewhat self-serving in some ways. And he can be like, he can say some dumb stuff sometimes, but I've never seen anybody point to like actual racism or bigotry. And but people keep spreading it. It's kind of like when everybody acted like Sarah Palin said that she could see Russia from her house. Like, I've never seen a video of her actually saying that. She said that you could see Russia from Alaska, which I think, from my understanding, on a good weather day is true. But she never said she could see Russia from her house. And Tina Fey said that on Saturday Night Live, and then everybody attributed it to her. So anyway, like, I don't know like where people get the bigotry and hatred, other than the fact that in their hearts they just want to believe it, and so they do. But this person's going to like potentially allow a wedge to come between her and her parents because of how they voted. I don't understand that. I don't like, people on the right don't usually do this. Now they'll like, people on the right, if you like hate Trump and you don't want to hang out with your friends who are on the right and like Trump, they're going to be like, well, bye, see ya. They're not going to sweat it. It's not going to be a big thing for them. But they're not going. I've never seen or heard of a conservative or a libertarian just like forcibly allowing a wedge or causing a wedge to come between them and their friends. Now if their friends do it, then they'll allow it, in my experience. But
And how I like.
but this girl's parents do know what they voted for. Yeah, so are they.
Catholic like they are, which is
So?
ironic because it's like religion's supposed to make you love.
This poor woman. I honestly, I'm laughing and I'm having a good time with this, but I do feel sorry for these people. I really do. And that's why I decided to make this video, is I really do want to help. So I know I'm going to be turning some people off. The people that need the help the most, I'm going to be like turning off because of the way I'm handling this, and I apologize for that. But this poor young lady really misunderstands love, and especially the kind of love that a Christian spirituality or a walk with Jesus is supposed to give you. So we are supposed to love our neighbors. And that's one reason why I kind of think maybe that this video isn't the right way for me to go about this, but it's something I question and I have to deal with. But you're not supposed to just allow people to do things that you think are wrong. And you wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris if you loved, let's say, your daughter in this case, like this woman's parents, if they love her, and I assume that they do, and they think that Donald Trump would be best for this country, they would be not loving if they voted for Kamala Harris because their daughter wanted them to vote for Kamala Harris. Now, I'm not saying that everybody makes a loving decision and is correct about it, like we make mistakes, but if you think something is correct or incorrect and you don't tell someone you love that they are on the wrong side of it, then you're not really being loving. So you should tell the truth with love. And if you think that Donald Trump is the best candidate, then you should vote for him, even if your daughter doesn't want you to. This person is totally misunderstanding love. She's misunderstanding a lot of things right now, but I'm hopeful that is helpful.
I'm disgusted enough to delete my ex account.
Bye.
I'm disgusted enough to never order a Tesla as long as I shall live.
I hate Tesla. I've never wanted a Tesla more in my life than I do right now. Like, I despise Tesla cars. But I have never wanted one more in my life than I do right now. I do appreciate that this guy's being calm with his video. I really do. So, like, I disagree with. I feel like I could like sit down and share a drink with this guy and talk about it rationally. And I always appreciate that. So props to this guy for just being cool. I disagree with him. I think he's wrong about a lot of stuff, but at least he's cool-headed.
I want to take this moment to congratulate those of you who voted for Donald Trump, which was the overwhelming majority of Americans. You chose to vote for a dictatorship.
No. This dude's repeating stuff he's been told by the left-wing media that's never been true. Like, there was an article in The Atlantic about how Donald Trump wanted Nazi generals, it was pretty much debunked in the article that it was written. The guy that wrote it, I can't remember the guy that wrote it, but it's been spread around the internet, and people are talking about like Nazi rallies at Madison Square Gardens and stuff like that. It's utter nonsense, absolute utter nonsense. It's foolish to like spread that kind of stuff, and if you're believing it without looking into it, you're foolish. Like, there's no evidence that Donald Trump is a dictatorship or is a dictator or wants to be a dictator, and there's very strong evidence, possibly proof, that he's not. It's absurd to think at this point that he's a dictator and that you voted for a dictatorship. So that's one area where I just, like, we wouldn't be able to talk about that probably because I'd make this guy mad.
And that is what you will get.
No.
America is no longer the land of the free.
Oh, really?
You have chosen, by siding with Donald Trump, to throw our United States Constitution and our United States flag in the garbage.
I don't
Personally,
understand.
I am embarrassed. I am ashamed.
Sorry.
To call myself an American. In fact, I no longer call myself an American.
Bye. Never gets old. It never gets old. Oh man, it never gets old. We gotta watch this.
The President of the United States.
The U.S. President is Donald Trump.
Oh, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah, nobody's throwing the Constitution in the trash. In fact, the reason Donald J. Trump gets votes is because people love the Constitution and they believe in its original intent, and they're tired of seeing left-wing people try to interpret it however they want to get whatever they want. So Donald Trump, I don't necessarily love the dude. I actually kind of wish that we would put forward other candidates to run for president from the right. I would like to see someone more against abortion, more for gun rights, more for personal property rights, more for reduced government, especially federal government. I don't know what we'll see this term, but like Donald Trump wasn't that last term, but Donald Trump was, in my opinion, very good for some key aspects of our country that that I think we need. But anyway, I would like to see the right put forward some electable candidates that are even more libertarian. Mostly because the libertarian candidates that always pop up are like the weird libertarians, that they're only libertarian when it comes to like smoking weed and killing babies, and riding bicycles. They're not really libertarian when it comes to like what I can do with my own property and personal property rights and taxation and stuff like that. They're, anyway, I don't want to get into that. This video is overly long. I just wanted to react to some of these, and again, I'm trying to help explain that like people on the left, just know that people on the right also get anxiety over elections and over the results and over where our country is headed. And there's a lot of people on the right that'll be very alarmist if their side's not winning. It happens. I've been there before. When I was younger and more immature, I would get really worked up over this stuff, and then I realized it wasn't worth it. But people on the right do it too. So the stuff you're feeling, people on the right feel to some degree as well. And also just please understand what love is and what truth is, and people really need to start digging into this stuff more, because when some of the stuff Whoopi Goldberg is saying and all this stuff about race and gender and stuff, like, most people don't care. Most people want you to be able to live your life the best that you can. They want to be able to live their lives the best that you can, and don't attribute to malice what is easily explainable by ignorance. As well. So we got to keep those things in mind, because like all of this stuff about like he's going to be a dictator and all that kind of stuff, it's garbage, it's nonsense, and you got to be, I don't know, people just need to like look into stuff a little bit more, I guess, or something like that, and understand that this is policy position voting, and this is constitutional voting. So people in America have overwhelmingly chosen a more originalist, it's not an originalist view, but a more originalist view of the Constitution. and they've voted for what they think is best for their country. They're not voting against a black woman. And once again, I'm going to wrap this up. Democrats, you could have had a black woman as your president. Your party chose not to do it. So talk to them. Don't talk to me. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys.